What's going on, everybody? Hope everybody's doing well. So for today's video, man, I'm actually really excited about this one. It's been a while since I've done a nice little funk pattern, but I'm gonna show you two funk patterns that you can try on one drum, which then those two patterns you could take on two drums or three drums. You do the math, because I don't even know. Y'all already know what day it is. It's Tutorial Thursdays. Welcome to Percussion Life. My name is Eric Perez. If you're new to the channel, thank you for stopping by. And if you haven't already, please hit that like, subscribe, and notification button just so you can find out whenever I upload these videos. And to all my day ones, love y'all. Thank you so much for all the love, continued support, and man, just the comments, and also the members. If you stick around, I'm pretty sure you're gonna get that notification where we take this pattern to a whole nother level.
Level.
Exactly.
Whole trauma level. There you go.
So I'm really excited to share this pattern with you guys. It's one that I've used a couple of times, especially in very intense parts that I want to kind of still stick to the pocket, but add a little bit more flair without being a disturbance and not really necessarily, again, not doing too much. But you can use this on two drums, you can use this on three drums, or just one. So I'm gonna show the basic pattern on one drum, and then from there we're gonna go by showing it on the two drums and three drums. But first, let me show you this pattern on one drum. Man, I can't wait to show y'all, especially when we start adding all these other drums. Timestamps below, but man, that felt good. But yeah, let me show you what I'm doing. So if you notice, there is kind of that call and response even within the pattern, and there's parts where I would say if you wanted to, especially on this part, that part could be a pattern all on its own. So again, because I'm just trying to show you how I've used it in context in a part of a song where it's probably intense, where I still want to keep a pocket, but kind of make my presence known at the same time. So you can use this in those two ways. I would probably not suggest doing this part all the time. Even though, again, that's a nice groove part for a specific section. You could definitely take that and go. But let me break those two down so we can actually, from there, branch off to these other drums. So I start this pattern with a close slap with my dominant hand and then an open with my non-dominant hand on the conga. Something to note, those two first hits are very important, especially when you start to branch off with the rest of the pattern. Now, this next part, again, I would say is the secret sauce to this pattern. It's the ghost notes, y'all. The ghost notes are very, very important, especially in a funk pattern like this. It's what helps guide. It's what helps kind of fill those empty spaces. And I think it's very needed, especially as a discipline, to work on those movements. So after I do that open with my non-dominant hand on the conga, what I do is, again, a fingertip tap, ghost note, whatever you would want to call it, with my dominant hand, then another one with my non-dominant hand, and then another one with my dominant hand. And then what follows will be a kind of like laying my hand flat. It would be a bass, you would say, subtle bass, not something very drastic even though you can make it that, and then followed by a close slap with my dominant hand. I know, a lot, but let me show you. I know it sounds like a lot, but let me play everything slowly. Let me just put everything together slowly in this part and pay attention how my hands start to rest to help guide me to make those ghost notes. Very important. Pay attention to how after I do the close slap in the first hit, how I end up doing a ghost note. After doing that open, how I end up doing a ghost note. So pay attention to that part. I'm gonna play it a little bit faster, then really, really slow so you can see that. Now, this next part, again, it starts to get a little bit complicated, but at the same time, it's those touches that allow you to kind of go. After doing that close slap, what you're gonna do is another fingertip tap, which is gonna set you up to do those two opens. So it's gonna sound like this. And then you're gonna do that again. So to put that together, and then to finish the pattern, what you're gonna do is, again, another bass close slap. And then what's gonna follow is gonna be a finger, finger, finger to then start you off again to do the close slap at the beginning. I know, a lot, but it's gonna sound like this. So to play everything together slowly, it's gonna sound like this. Yeah, that's some craziness. After that, you just start all over. If you notice, patu, that's your beginning portion of the pattern. Now, the second part of this funk pattern, if just to give you a reminder, believe it or not, is not as difficult, but it is as difficult. Yeah, because it requires some, you would say, sense of time to know where to add those accents. It's a little bit more on the upbeat in regards to the feeling of it. So again, we're gonna start this pattern the same exact way, where it's gonna be a close tap with your dominant hand and then an open with your non-dominant hand. Now what follows, you're actually gonna do this 3 times. You're actually gonna do a ghost note with your dominant hand and then opens with your non-dominant hand. So it's gonna be 3 of those. So it's gonna sound like this. So to put that together, again, this part could be a very big tongue twister, teaser, plays with your head because you're doing a close slap and an open. So you're gonna probably try to count like it's 4 and it's not really. It's 3 of those ghost notes with 3 of those opens after doing the first close slap and open. Now, what follows after that last open with your non-dominant hand is 2 opens with your dominant hand. So to put that together, it's gonna sound like this, and it's probably gonna make a little bit more sense after this. And after finishing those two opens, you end it like you finished it in the previous pattern, which is going to be, again, laying your hand down, doing a close slap with your dominant hand, finger, 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 starting all over. So to just play that pattern all the way through, it's going to sound like this. Now to put both of those together and playing them all the way through, it's gonna sound like this. Man, you gotta love it, man. But to play it slowly and counting it, it's gonna sound like this.
1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Man, you got to love it. Now, to add all these other drums, this is what you can do. Yeah, this is what you can do, y'all. It's about to get kind of fun. So I would say if you're gonna incorporate maybe a second drum to this pattern, that first closing slap that we do, I would change it and do an open here. And that allows at least a little bit some space for melody to again kind of change things up. So to kind of give you that example, it's gonna sound like this. Another way, especially for the second part of that funk, again, let's change that up and put the close slap on the tumba and make that an open. Another way that you could incorporate, again, another drum, and this is probably my favorite one and one that you probably heard me use in a previous video that I've made, but what you're gonna do is, rather than those two last opens that we do with our dominant hand that actually kind of do the emphasis in regards to the funk pattern, do an open on the tumba and then an open on the conga. So it should sound like this, again, incorporating the tumba in the beginning. And again, with the other pattern as well, you would do the same exact thing. pretty fun. But again, this is for specific sections that you may use for a measure or two. It's not meant to be a whole pattern that you play throughout the whole song. Unless, man, is there a song that can do that? I really don't know. Now, how do we add a third drum? And again, this is the part that I would say could be a little bit challenging, because you have to be a little bit, you know, I would say well-versed with your non-dominant hand. And it depends on your setup as well. My personal setup, I love to kind of set to my non-dominant side, so it makes it at least easier for me. But what I try to do, and in a sense to kind of further expand, I just play around with what I'm normally doing here, not the ghost notes, but the opens. So for example, because we just did this part, the way I would practice it, is, especially if I'm starting out to work on my non-dominant hand, is I would do that going that way. And that's kind of the interesting part, because especially once you start to replace that close slap with an open here, that's where it becomes a little bit more than what you're used to. And then again, it gets a lot more interesting once you start to incorporate that other variation. Again, you can go a lot of different places there, just changing your non-dominant hand to go this way. And again, once you start to incorporate this other part, especially once we practice it this way, it can get pretty interesting. You gotta love it, man. You got to love it, man. You can have a lot of fun with it, especially with the previous variation. So many places to go with such a simple pattern. 1, 2, 3 drums, melodic, straight, whatever, man. It's kind of crazy, but you gotta love it. Please take your time, man. Practice it slowly. Get those ghost notes. Internalize this, man. It's gonna help, especially develop your expression and the way you kind of want to go about, you know, making music, man. You gotta love it. But all right, y'all. Please let me know what you guys think. You already know what to do. Like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a great day.